Hi, Rebecca here again. I'm a real estate advisor with Keller Williams. I'm licensed in Wisconsin and Minnesota. And I've been through this uncoupling process myself, which gave me a huge passion to help other people going through this situation. So I'm glad you found us. I'm so glad you found us and that you're here and can make informed decisions. We're here to support you as you walk through one of the most really difficult things that you go through as an adult. And today we're going to talk about one of your biggest assets that you're going to be considering as you walk through your divorce. So I remember years ago walking through the uncoupling process. I was in my 20s, three kids, totally felt lost in life, and walking through my home one last time and falling to my knees in the nursery, saying goodbye to my home. There's so much emotion involved in this decision. And so, one thing I want you to consider right now is this is a business decision. Where you're going to live, where you're going to raise your family was truly built off of what is your financial security, what's your financial house look like, and what's going to be best for you. And if you have any children. So, as we put that hat on, I want you to just take a moment and all those emotions tied to home. Take a breath with me and just put them on the shelf for now. Okay. We're going to talk about logistically, logically, what your options are. Now, you can keep watching if you want to learn about selling your home and what your options are there, because we have an amazing woman, Kimberly, who's going to chat about that. But if you're considering what's next for you, what are you going to buy, or what are your options, then keep watching. I've got it. So your options typically are you can rent. Renting is not the end of the world for a time. You can nest. So what that would look like is actually keeping the family home. Um, Mom and dad would be the ones to move back and forth, and the kids would stay in the family home. So you'd have an apartment or an investment property on the side. You can rent to own would be an option, or you can purchase a home, and we can work towards that, figure out what that would look like, or keep the family home. Now, there's a lot of things to consider in the equity of the home and division of assets and retirement accounts and all the things. They'll go into your decision to keep the home, and Kimberly will review some of that. But as you consider your options purchasing a home, there is a lot to consider. One, if you are going to purchase, timeline. You need to have a really great lender who understands the divorce process and who can help get you pre-qualified, but also help you with the timing and the division of assets so that you have like the smoothest experience if you are going to purchase a home and you're really sure it's something that makes sense for you. You're not spending unnecessary money or taking money out of retirement, and you're setting yourself up for a monthly budget that's successful. That's not going to stress you out. And as you're entering this new life as a solo person, whether you're a parent or not, something to consider in the purchase of your home is not just the budget. It's not just a budget anymore. It's, can you maintain this home? Are you going to enjoy the work of cleaning it? Do you have the assets to hire a cleaner? Are you going to enjoy the yard work? Because it's all on you now. Or can you hire that out? What's the upkeep? What's the true stitch with the home? And are you going to be happy with it? What if something breaks? Do you have a village? Do you have a handyman? Do you have people who can fix stuff? Can you do it yourself? Is that how you want to spend your free time? These are all things to consider as we think, oh, yes, it's so empowering as a woman to purchase our own home. I've done it. It's amazing. And then when it's time to blow the roof off because it's fall, it's not so amazing. I'm telling you from experience. So those are things to consider. And so some other options, if purchasing is the right road for you, consider a townhome, a condo. Even if you have kids, you still might have access to a yard or playgrounds. Snow removal is no longer your worry. If we get a foot of snow, who's going to move it? How are you going to get to school? How are you going to get the kids to school? How are you going to get to work? If you have little ones, who's going to watch them while you're out blowing snow? Like, these are things that we have to think through, these minute facts, in order to arrive at the best decision. So that might be a good option for you. A townhome, a condo, where all the outside stuff is taken care of. You pay a little bit, you want to make sure it fits into your budget. But then you just have a home that you can take care of the inside. Or sometimes divorces are messy and life feels so out of sorts, and maybe money wasn't the strong suit of your marriage. And renting just takes the load off. You can do something temporary for a year. You can find something below your budget, and you can have some time just to breathe and to decide what's next for you. There's no timeline that's absolutely right for everybody. And there's no two divorces that are the same. And there's no financial blueprint that's the same. There's no family dynamics that are the same. And so it's one of those things that there's so many parts and pieces. Working with a professional that's helped tons of other families and been through it themselves is super duper helpful. So I'd love to answer your questions, to be a resource for you however I can. I hope I asked some questions that got you thinking and gave you some clarity on what some of your options could be to consider. And if you just need to hash that out with somebody, you've got my information. My heart goes out to you. I know these times are difficult, but I promise from one woman to another, you're going to thrive again. And life is just getting started, always gets different. And the best is yet to come.